Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Lacrimore by SJ Costello. This is what the cover looks like. We have a house and we have someone on a ship with a lantern coming towards this house. It's quite a thin book, only about 180 pages, but the cover appealed to me and it focuses on a spiritual medium who has lost her faith but has been called to a haunted house in the middle of a lake or the middle of an ocean on an island to attend to a dying man and to see to his funeral rites. And the premise intrigued me, the cover intrigued me, so even though normally this book is outside my comfort zone, I decided to take it home and give it a read, and I'm really glad I did because I really enjoyed this book. So let's discuss. The plot, as mentioned, follows a woman named Sivra Sen, who is a medium. I'm going to say right now, I am pronouncing these names the best I can. I have not heard any of these said out loud. I have just read them. Sivra Sen is a medium who belongs to the temple, which is the presiding authority over the mainland, as it is only known, following a plague which really decimated the population. There was a lot of death, a lot of dying, and there was a house in the middle of the ocean, I'm going to say ocean, maybe lake, that some of the dying people were carted off to be taken care of, but this plague has really destroyed the land. The temple has come to prominence afterwards. Sivra Sen is part of the temple complex as a medium, someone who goes to funerals and connects to a spirit who has recently departed to provide words of comfort to the family. So imagine your grandfather passes away, you have a medium come to the funeral who says comforting words supposedly from your grandfather who has passed. Sivra Sen, though, has never been able to connect to these spirits, so she's a little bit of a fraud in her mind. She also has lost her wife, who she was very close to and has not been able to make connections with, so that is very hard for her to deal with as well. However, she does have a dream that isn't just in her mind, but a man has called her to attend to his funeral, and that is the man called Lalachai, or Lalache. That is how I'm going to be saying his name. And so Sivra Sen follows the dream's instructions and goes to this house that is in the middle of the ocean/lake. She goes there and finds that he is not dead. He is instead in the care of a doctor named Vanderus, who appears to be doing his own little bit of research on the dying man. Vanderus has been banished from the mainland due to experimentation on dying individuals, trying to see past the veil or see what they see in their dying moments, which is something that is heavily frowned upon by the mainland people. So he's not welcome on the mainland. He would be imprisoned, is my understanding. So he's out there attending to Lalachai, who is also interested in these as he is going through his dying days. Sivra Sen thought that Lalachai was actually deceased when she was called, so she's just going to hang around in this big house, which is very creepy, it feels very much alive. It feels like a living being, like a character in the book, instead of just an inanimate object where the story is taking place at. So she has to hang out here while she waits for Lalachai to die, which seems like an odd arrangement, having a house guest who you know is just waiting on you to die. Also in the house is staff, which includes Fel, Ciro, and Deje. I'm just going to say Deje. These are individuals who for various reasons are also not welcome or have run away from the mainland and come to this place where they're not entirely physically kept prisoner because they are able to go back and forth from the mainland to the house with the boat, as we see on the cover, but because of various circumstances are more or less kept imprisoned on this island, which is a massive house essentially, which has a mind of its own, aims of its own, and a very dark past connected to the plague that killed a lot of people, as well as other suspicious things that may have taken place in the house in the past. So the book in my library is marked as horror. So I don't know if this is the actual classification. So my library just puts what the genre is on the sticker on the side, just to give you an idea. So if you're looking for sci-fi, you can quickly find sci-fi on the shelf. So it is helpful, but I don't necessarily think this is a horror book. I scare very, very easily. I jump very easily. I scream very easily. I can't watch anything even remotely spooky or gory, and I could handle this book. So there was tension. The vibes are weird throughout. You definitely got the sense that the house is a sinister character who has its own aims with the people involved. So I think it definitely has a creepy vibe, but it's not so horrifying that you can't sit through it and read it. So I do want to say, if you think, oh, I'm really spooked easily, I can't really do a lot of tension or thriller-like stuff, I think this is this is not too scary. And I can say that from me, who gets scared very, very, very easily. I'm pretty sure there are 8-year-olds who scare less easily than me. So if I could handle it, I'm guessing you can probably handle it. There isn't a whole lot of graphic depictions of violence. There is one individual who winds up dying, but that isn't horrifically described. So I think there's not really a whole lot of violence, there's not a whole lot of gore, and there's not a whole lot of horrific things. There's just a weird vibe throughout. You have a lot of suspicions about Vanderus and the research he's doing. He tries to bring individuals to the brink of death and then interview them to see what they are seeing, perhaps. We also have Lala Chai, so he's kind of tacitly condoning this research because he invited Vanderus here, but you start to wonder how much he actually wants to be taking place in this research. The staff, why are they there? What are they running from on the mainland? And what have they seen? What do they know? And Sivra Sen, who is just trying to find her faith and also doesn't want to feel like a fraud when she has to ultimately conduct these funeral rites. And also, of course, she's desperately missing her wife who has passed away. So it is interesting, and I think the main thing that happened in this book is just seeing how everyone responds to the house and the environments. I think the second half of the book is more interesting, but I think the second half of the book was more interesting because the first half of the book was well set up. I think if you're looking for something that has a weird vibe but isn't so creepy that you're not going to be able to sleep at night, Lacrimore could be a great choice for you. I kind of want to get into things that are a little bit more creepy, but again, my tolerance is so low, I can't do things that are super scary. So I think a book like this was a great pick for me, and I'm glad that I picked it out, and I'm glad that the side, which I didn't see until I got home, that said horror didn't deter me from reading it, because it was a very interesting book, and I felt like the whole interaction of all these characters with each other and with the house made it a very interesting and intriguing read. If you've read Lacrimore, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I love getting them, and if you have any books like this that you would like to recommend, please also send those suggestions to me. I love to receive them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.